Papa Rathbone can be late for his own funeral.
Inviting us like this, then not showing up for dinner? Rude, I said. Plain rude. Well, I certainly enjoyed dinner. It was wonderful. Mr. Wallace, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, and my wife here and I thank you.
Your rolls are as light as clouds. Did you do all the cleaning yourself?
Of course, we've been catering dinners for many, many years.
You wouldn't mind to share any of your secret recipes, would you?
Wouldn't mind my missus making me some of those rolls once in a while.
Hey, ma'am.
No, thank you. I just want to know what's going on.
I'm sure I don't know. Please, Mrs. Wimberly, Mr. Rathbone will be here soon.
He missed the whole dinner for crying out loud.
As always, Mr. Rathbone has his reasons.
I didn't like the invitation in the first place. The way it read, your presence is commanded at Rathbone Manor, demanding us to come. What an honor, though, to be invited to the house of the world's most famous detective in the world.
I thank you, Miss Lindell, and I'm so glad you could all make it.
About time, Rathbone.
Detective Drake, it's been a while.
Well, you went and retired, not me.
Not enough to keep you busy, Mr. Rathbone.
Oh yes, Mr. Herman. I've been tying up loose ends, you might say. Mr. Wilkes.
Well, why did you demand to come here tonight? Not that the food goes good. This air comes as flaky as a spring snowfall.
You'll hear my request tonight to wrap up a bit of business that began 15 years ago.
What business is that?
You should all know, of course, Mr. Wilkes. Mr. Wilkes holds a check, which I took in the precaution to frame. The check made out to Mr. Rathbone for the sum of $80,000. A sizable amount of money, no?
I could have cashed that faster than an egg can poach.
Never.
But why?
It was paid following a case on which I worked ceaselessly, but was not able to solve until now.
Who's the check from, Mr. Rathbone?
It is signed Charles Fraser.
Of course, we are all together again after so many years.
I was afraid this little gathering was something to do with all that.
Oh, those poor little girls.
At least some of them are spared.
One wonders whatever they came with her.
Why she is sitting at this very table. Allow me to introduce you to Jenny Fraser, who is now Cornelia Lindell.
You never heard of little Jenny?
I don't believe it.
Let's get a look.
Oh, there is no doubt about it. This is Jenny Fraser.
I would now know all of you. Mr. Rathbone asked me to not say anything until he introduced me. I hope you don't think I've been rude. But you changed, though. Mother and Father made sure of that. But Mr. Rathbone, you said you solved the case. Does it really matter now? I mean, my little sister's been gone for so long.
It most certainly makes a difference, Miss Lindell. But after all, justice, like dessert, must be served.
And after 15 years you solved this thing. Come on, Rathbone, even for a minute, you're telling us that's hard to believe.
The case, a memory, linked with a chance encounter, has produced unfavorable results for the criminal.
Who is the criminal then, Mr. Rathbone?
I can assure you, the perpetrator is somewhere here as we speak.
Then Alice, none of us has time for your usual theatrics.
Sit down, detective. And now, before you enjoy your dessert, let us serve the just desserts. Mr. Wilkes?
15 years ago, this very night, two little girls were kidnapped from the Fraser house. Jenny was 6 while her sister Josephine was 2.
Oh, Josephine! Poor little thing.
Oh, she wants to chase butterflies in the garden.
She couldn't help me dry the dishes.
A telephone call demanded a ransom of $100,000. Mr. Fraser paid, but neither girl was delivered the next day.
Nor the next day, nor the next, nor the next.
Tell us what happened, Miss Linda.
Must I? You poor dear, I wouldn't say a thing.
But it's almost over.
Tell us how you listened.
It was horrible. They kept us in a shed with backs over our head, and our hands and feet were tied. Eventually, I wiggled one foot loose when I heard someone coming. I kissed Josephine and promised her I'd be back for her.
And then you wandered through the woods until you stumbled onto a road.
A motorist fortunately swerved, stopped his vehicle, and took you immediately to safety.
Yes, but Josephine, poor Josie, was never found.
At the time the police had found the shed, the kidnapper had cleared out with your sister.
He or she had been careful enough to remember every clue, except for one, which was found in the pocket of your sweater. You were dressed in old clothes, odds and ends that the kidnapper had.
I remember, but I never knew there was anything in the pocket of Mr. Rathbone.
Kept that a secret. If you did, can't let everything out to the press.
What was it? And what's the name?
Begging your pardon, but the champagne is ready and we've brought dessert.
Homemade, I might add.
Excellent. Please serve the champagne.
You surely don't think any of us had anything to do with this crime.
I know I had things to do with it. I'm gonna leave it.
Want me to stop her, Rathbone?
No need, detective. In need of the restroom, Mrs. Harcourt?
I just need to get some fresh air.
Please go through the kitchen, then to the garden. It sparkles at night with the fragrance of lilacs and roses.
Their father then is the one.
Well, they'll be back soon. And while we wait, I can proceed with the only clue found in the entire case. It was a small piece of paper with a smattering of letters on it.
My car won't start, and I just had it at service, and it's dead.
Such a pity.
Detective, I demand you drive me to town.
But I'm afraid the detective's car won't start either.
What?
During dinner, Mr. Rathbone took the liberty of ensuring your full cooperation.
Here now, there's laws against stuff like that.
I've not permanently damaged anything.
But I want to leave.
And you shall soon enough. As if you would be as good to rejoin us.
Thank you for quick returns.
I've never been so insulted in my life.
What is it, Mrs. Harcourt?
The dishwasher blamed me of making a clean mess on her floor. We're sorry about that, ma'am. She's our niece, and she's very headstrong.
I'll go have a talking to her right now.
That is quite unnecessary, Mrs. Wallace. And now, where was I?
The clue, that bit of paper in my pocket.
Ah, yes, we studied it and studied it, but it made no sense. You were the girl's nanny, were you not, Mrs. Morin?
Yes, but
And you were in the room next to theirs?
I told the police. I told everyone. I'd taken the sleeping pill because I had trouble sleeping. I never heard a thing, not a thing.
You didn't lie at the time, didn't you? Your trouble sleeping was caused by the fact that your brother had been arrested, and you needed to find some way to put up his bail.
Yes, but I wouldn't have heard Jenny or Josie from the likes of him.
And you, Mrs. Harcourt, you were in your room with your husband, were you?
I told the police. All I heard was a truck driving away.
Precisely at 9 p.m.?
Yes, I just finished my favorite show on the TV.
You're sure it was a truck?
A small truck? Yes.
I never heard of thing!
It would have been difficult from the gardener's house.
Especially for someone hard of hearing. But again, money will have come in handy at that time, would it not, Mr. Herman?
When wouldn't it come in handy?
You had the opportunity at a garden partnership at the Garney supply store. Isn't that right?
But I didn't get it, did I? If I had $100,000, I'd have done everything I wanted.
A very good point, Mr. Herman. We've been over and over on this, Rathbone.
You all suffered far more than I. No one of you appears to have gained a thing by what happened. I wish at this time to propose a toast.
A toast?
A toast is good for the soul. 2 happier days, and may they soon return. And you, Mr. and Mrs. Wallace,
Oh, sure, we couldn't.
perhaps in honor of your splendid dinner you served.
Well, in that case... else is high? The two Fraser girls into the happiness they share. And furthermore, may they all share the happiness that they missed all these years.
How could you say something so cruel?
Because it's true. Soon you will see the light. Everything all right? Mr. Wilkes, are you recovering well from your pneumonia?
Yes, I'm all right.
Sir, if you don't mind, we'd like to get back to helping Anne with the cleaning.
We've got to get home so we can work on tomorrow's party at the Gladstones.
Please do me one last thing. Serve dessert, and then you are dismissed. And now, back to Mr. Wilkes' pneumonia. You spent a week in the hospital, correct?
Yes.
During that time, I decided to try my hand at cooking.
Well, bully for you.
I decided I had a yen for raspberry tart. So I assembled the ingredients. Flour, butter, and sugar. But then I stopped.
Why?
That is when I realized.
Realize what?
Well, it's on the scrap of paper found in the pocket of Mrs. Wilkes' sweater, which she wore so very long ago. Mr. Wilkes?
What are you getting?
A recipe. The kidnapper left a piece of a recipe inside the pocket. And this kidnapper might be the...
Now see here.
I have added a powder to the champagne, Veritas powder, which works like true serum. Whoever kidnapped the Fraser girls should be nervous. Perhaps you feel faint, Mrs. Harcourt? Are you, Mr. Herman?
No! No!
Who is it? Stop this nonsense now. Mrs. Wallace.
Yes, Mrs. Wallace. Yes, it had to be someone who cooked. But this is really not all at all, Mrs. Wallace.
She's just a bit overworked.
Do something, Mr. Rathbone. She's just fainted. It was only a mix of the power of suggestion along with guilt. You see, it was James and his sister here, and it was Jake and Myra Ferris, who kidnapped the girls 15 years ago.
That's a lie.
No, Mr. Wallace. Ferris Catering served the dinner 3 days before at the Fraser house 3 days before the kidnapping. You desperately needed money to cover up a gambling debt.
I don't know any Jake Ferris. You can't prove anything.
The truck Mrs. Harcourt heard was the Ferris Catering truck.
Clever, Rathbone. Real clever. But we've done it once and we'll do it again. Anne, get the truck started.
You can't get away with this.
Anne! Anne! Now, all of you, back over there. Get up. Get up. I knew we shouldn't have taken this job.
Out the cuffs. What's all this about?
Here, hold this on them. Any of them move, shoot. Wait.
What's all this about?
Do you remember any of these people? We're very close, especially that Miss Lindell here.
That's right.
Say something, Miss Lindell.
Mr. Rathbone, what am I supposed to say? I know you. Why do I know you? Who are they?
It's Miss Lindell and you.
What?
Rathbone, you're crazy.
I remember a dress like that. Think, maybe.
Give me the gun. Give it to me.
No!
You ridiculous girl. You should have shot them.
Come with me, Mr. Wallace. I've got a lot of questions to answer. Mrs. Wallace will be for the disabled truck.
Josie? Josie? Oh, dear me, can it really be you?
The Wallace has held you all these years.
No, they're my aunt and uncle. They took me in when my parents died. But you don't have an aunt and uncle, Dina. Then I'm alone. I've got no one but them. No. You got a family who's never been this happy. I'm your older sister, Jenny, the other girl in the photo. My sister?
Now to the real purpose of our dinner. A reunion. A long overdue reunion. It's good to serve up justice, don't you think, Mr. Wilkes?